Sure. Okay. So with the parabola, sketching the parabola, you know by now the straight line. How to sketch the straight line. Okay. So the important thing with sketching graphs is you've got input values and output values. That's the important thing. Any graph has input values and output values. You put something in to the place of x, you get something out. Y is what you get out. X is what you put in. Okay? So when you want to sketch it, all you need to do actually is substitute a few values into the graph and see what it gives you out. Okay? So we call x the independent variable because it's independent. You just put it in. Like you just put 1 in, or 2, or 3. But then what comes out, okay, will be different every time depending on the function, on the graph. We call it a graph or a function. Okay, so when we talk about graphs or functions, it's the same thing. Okay? So let's have a look at, I want to know now when I look at this equation or this graph, I want to know what's it going to look like on an x and a y axis. How does it look like? Okay? So what you do is, well, when you get to know them, you will see them and you will know. Okay? I already know what it's going to look like. Okay? Because I know the square means it's a parabola. Okay? Whenever it's a square, x squared, you know it's a parabola. Okay? So it's got this shape, or it's going to have this shape. Okay? So I know that by now through practice. But when you start with it, the best thing to do is to substitute a few values and see what it gives you. Okay? So when I put 0 into the graph, okay, I put 0 in. I say let's make x 0. 0 squared is 0. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So I put 0 in, I got negative 1 out. It's like a flow diagram. You put something in, you get something out. We've been actually doing that since grade 8, eh? Put x values in, see what you get out. But now, we're going to look at how you sketch it. We're going to look at graphs. So we're not looking at flow diagrams anymore. We're not looking at equations anymore. We're looking at sketching these things. Okay? So I've got negative 1 out. So I put 0. Where's 0? There's 1, x1, x2. Negative 1, negative 2. So 0 is right there. So I put 0 in, I got negative 1 out. So I make a dot there. I say that's my coordinate. When x is 0, y will be negative 1. Now I go to 1. Let's see what happens when I put 1 in. Y equal to 1 squared minus 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I put 1 in, x1 in, I got 0 out. So where's that? Where's y equal to 0? Okay? There's y equal to 1. There's y equal to 2. There's y equal to negative 1. So y equal to 0 has to be here. Okay? But now x must be 1. So x is 1 and y is 0. I'm not going up or down. I say y is 0. Okay? Now I say, let's see what happens when I put in 2. 2 squared minus 1. What is 2 squared? 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 1? 3. So now I put 2 in. What did I get out? 3. So I need to go up to 3. So 2 went in, 3 came out. So that's there. I put 2 in, I got 3 out. Now I can start seeing what this graph looks like. Now I do the same on the negative side. I said, let's put in negative 1 now. Y equal to negative 1 squared minus 1. Just remember to put the brackets around. Like squared. Okay? Negative 1 squared is also 1. 1 minus 1 is 0 again. Okay? So now I'm on this side. I put negative 1 in, I get 0 out. I didn't go up or down. When you get a y value of 0, it means you're not going up or down. You're staying on the x-axis. Now I'm going to put in negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. So now I put negative 2 in, and I got 3 out again. You will see the nice thing about the parabola, okay, is that it's always symmetrical. What you do on this side will be exactly the same on this side. So when you've done this side, you can say, oh, well, I'm not going to do the other side even. I know the other side will look exactly the same. It's always symmetrical. And now when you try to sketch it, you just try to connect it, but don't make straight lines. You're going to lose marks for that. Make it a little bit of a curve, like this. On this side, you do the same. Make it a little bit of a curve, like that. Okay, and you can even take away your dot. Okay, if it's not exactly on the line, you can take it away, because we look more at the shape than trying to, some learners try to connect the dots. They're so focused on connecting the dots that in the process the graph doesn't look nice. Rather make sure your graph has a nice, elegant shape, smooth shape, okay? Even here, it mustn't make a corner. Don't do that. Some learners do this and make it a corner there. It must actually flow through this way. It must make it more like a bend. A little bit of a bend there. Okay, it must have a lowest point, what we call the minimum point, or we call it the turning point, but it mustn't make a corner. Okay, and that's basically your graph. Y, then you can write it next to it. Y equal to x squared minus 1. You do the graph, the parabola x squared minus 1. Okay.